Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, today we'll be talking about a very important topic. A topic that many people wonder about. From when they are young to when they are old, humanity has wondered if God exists. Today, we'll answer that question. Okay, so to answer this question, we're going to use a simple proof, and that proof is called the proof of organization. It's composed of two parts. It's a very simple proof. Let's get started. In the first part of this proof, I'm going to ask you some simple empirical questions. And by empirical, I mean that we're going to take examples from this world and see if we can get any answers that are going to help us move towards getting an answer to the question of God's existence. Let's take a simple example. Let's look at an orange, for example. If you take an orange and you cut it in half, if you look at it, how everything is symmetrical, would you say that that looks organized to you? Of course, it does look organized, and I agree with you. How about if we take an onion? Let's cut an onion in half. Let's take a look at its beautiful layers, how they're beautifully symmetrical. Would you say that that looks organized to you? I agree with you. That does look organized. Now, what about if we take a look at the solar system? Would you say that that looks organized? How the planets orbit around the sun? And how about if we look at the sun as it rises from the east and sets in the west? Does that look organized to you? Of course it does, and I agree. How about if we look at cells under a microscope? Does that look organized to you? You know how each one is laid right next to the other as though they're bricks, each having its own nucleus, each having its own cell wall, each having its own cell fluid? They look like bricks on a house. Does that look organized to you? I agree, it does look organized. Okay, so then based on these examples, we can empirically agree then that this world, based on the examples that we gave, is organized. I agree. It is organized based on these examples. So that's the first part of the proof. Now let's move on to the next part of the proof. And in this next part, I'll also be asking you questions. So let's get started. Okay, so who organizes your room? You're going to say, you do, right? Or maybe your mother does. Or maybe your wife does. Well, who organizes a school? You're going to say the principal does, or the janitor does, right? Good. So what about a doctor's office? Who organizes that? A nurse maybe? A janitor also? Agreed. What about your house? Who organizes your house? You're going to say, well, your mom does, right? Or you all do. Great. So based on these questions, we can come to the conclusion then that for something to be organized, it requires a creator of its organization, an organizer, correct? Agreed. All right, very good. So that's the end of the second part of the proof, that in order for something to be organized, it requires an organizer, a creator of its organization. Let's review. So in the first part of this proof, we agreed that based on the examples that we gave, that this world indeed is organized. And secondly, in the second part of the proof, we agreed that in order for something to be organized, it needs a creator of its organization, an organizer, if you will. So based on that then, since the world is organized, and everything that is organized has a creator of its organization, then the world has a creator of its organization, an organizer, if you will. And with that, we're able to prove that the world has a creator of its organization, which means that the world then has a creator. Perfect. So we were able to simply prove that the world indeed has a creator. The next question is, what is his most important characteristic? And is there more than one creator? We'll cover that in our next video clip. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.